Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Married Now Widowed. We're your hosts. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nadine, and this podcast is about navigating life after loss through unfiltered conversations.
Yes, we are back with another episode.
We're back.
And this episode is going to be about what people, friends, family said to us that we wish they maybe didn't.
Even strangers.
Yeah. Strangers have a lot to say, right?
They've got a lot to say.
And also I want to talk about what people did say to us that we liked and maybe what we wish people had said to us as well. Because if there's someone out here that's listening who knows someone that's grieving, maybe it could help them with how to
definitely,
speak to the grieving person, because it is quite hard. And
it is quite hard, and I feel like a lot of people don't know what to say.
Of course.
And that's, you can understand that, right?
Of course, absolutely.
And so, I think this could possibly, like you said, help those that...
But before we get into it, you just said that people maybe don't know what to say, and I do agree with that. But do you think overall, if you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all?
To a degree. Because imagine if somebody hadn't said anything to you. Would you not feel that they didn't?
I think you can literally say, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say to you.
Definitely.
Like, I think that would just be one of the best things to say, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through, but I'm here for you.
That's exactly right.
That is the best thing to say to somebody.
Best, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But people get a bit technical.
Yeah, and I think they try too hard when sending condolence messages as well. And I understand that they're coming from a good place and they're trying to think of the words to say. But I think it's important to note that it's okay if you don't have the words to say. Yeah. We don't even have the words to say. Right. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And even now, we've been through it. But I have to say, like, sometimes when people lose people that I know, I still don't know what to say. And I've been in their shoes and I'm still like, what do I write? What do I say? What do I do? Do you know what I mean? Because not only do you have what we think should be said and done, everyone's different.
It's such a sensitive
It is
topic,
really sensitive.
And I think that's why you'd probably still feel like that now,
of course,
even though you've been through it. It's just such a sensitive topic. Yeah. And even though you may think that this is the right thing to say, I think that you don't know if that person thinks that that was the right thing to say. That's
exactly right, yeah.
And so I think that's probably why, like, it can throw you off.
And I think as well, when you've been through it, you know how important it is to tread carefully and maybe even hold back a little bit on what you think you should and shouldn't say. Yeah. But, again, it's not their fault most time. I mean, sometimes people just say really stupid things and it is your fault. You didn't think that through. No. But most times I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Because it is hard to know what to do, what to say, how to act, especially when you're going through those first few days where people are coming to visit and you're seeing people at the funeral. There's a lot of people that you see that you're not close to. That's right. So what are they going to say to you? Yeah. Like, we haven't even said hello, how are you in 2 years? What are you going to say to me now that's going to comfort me? So it is, I feel sorry for people as well, because it is, and I think it's important when you're grieving don't take it to heart and don't hold grudges unless it's something like super out of line. That's different, right? But if someone's just trying their best to comfort you and maybe it's not coming out in the way that you want it to come out, try not to hold it against them and try not to dwell on it.
Overall, I think people do mean well. Like,
I agree.
Not coming from like a malice place.
I mean, it'd be a very small percentage of people who would want to hurt you even more in a time like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think people genuinely just don't know. Yeah. I remember my best friend said to me, she's literally like to me, like this is my best friend of a long time. Oh, I don't know what to say to you. And I get that. And it's funny because from her, that's all I needed. I knew she knew how I was feeling.
Of course.
And we both knew the situation and she knew there were no words for it, and I appreciated that.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Because it still validated what you were going through and how you felt.
Of course.
Do you
absolutely.
know what I mean? Even something like that.
Yeah.
Like that also happened to me. Like one of Mick's friends couldn't speak to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't look at me, couldn't speak to me. He told one of Mick's brothers, I just can't speak to her.
Yeah.
And other people might have thought, can't believe he didn't speak to you, can't believe he didn't ring you, but I understood it.
Yeah.
Like the message was passed on to me and I understood that it was just too hard for him to even speak to me.
And to be honest, like that means a lot, you know.
You know, this specific friend, I think it was probably a year and a half before he could see me.
Wow.
After Mick passed. It was a year and a half before he could see me.
Wow.
Yeah. Whereas there were other friends that just wanted to be around me because, you know, he was a part of me or like, you know what I mean?
Well, everyone's really different in
how they process things.
You're obviously the person who is grieving is the most important in that time, but the people around you as well don't know how to respond, you know, and they also may feel a certain way. They might be uncomfortable. They might be hurting. They might be, you don't know how people take different things, right. You know, and it doesn't mean that just because, let's just say we have, I don't know, Sarah, for example, maybe Sarah wasn't close to my husband, but attending his funeral brought up a memory of someone that she's lost that she was close to, and it brings up a lot of feelings and people act a certain way. Like grief is hard for everyone, right?
And you would know firsthand how many triggers you get.
Oh, all the time.
Could be the smallest thing. So I get what you're saying because for that person that's come to the funeral that might not know your husband, you know, she may have gotten a trigger, you know, and
for sure.
Yeah, it's
I think if we go into like specifics of what people have said to us that we wish they didn't, I think that would be good for people to know because as we said, I think a lot of people just don't know, and it's just like something I haven't really spoken about, really, you know.
I think you're probably the only person I've spoken to about this. Yeah,
because other people sort of don't really get it, because I feel like we would get a lot of similar comments from people. So the one I probably hate the most would be probably about moving on.
Yeah. And
people misunderstand me. It's not about being opposed to moving on.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's nobody's place to make a comment on that, and it's not necessary.
Especially when it's so soon after.
Sorry, but within the first week is wild to me.
It is crazy.
It's really crazy to bring up something like that. Like, I don't know. I could never imagine. Like, could you imagine if you had a friend that lost their partner and you saying to them, oh, you'll find someone? What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't understand where that comes from. And as I said, like some things I give people the benefit of the doubt. Other things I just think you're not really thinking when you're saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my biggest thing with that, there's two things. Number one, I don't need you to approve this. You know what I mean? I don't need you to tell me, oh, you'll move on. Oh, you'll find someone. Who are you to comment on that? Right. Number one. Number two, I find it disrespectful to the person that's passed. Yes. I really do. I find it rude. And I feel like I actually get a bit defensive because I feel like you're being rude to my husband. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just do. Yeah.
It's disrespectful. It's rude. It's almost like they're trying to tell you like, oh, eventually they won't exist.
I feel like you're trying to, what's the word, like the situation. It's not as bad as it's like, it's not that bad, darling. You know, like,
I get what you're saying.
Like make it.
They are trying to diminish.
You're downplaying. Yeah.
No, they're trying to diminish your grief.
Yes. That's exactly what I feel like you do when you say something like that. Mm-hmm. And you're not, I feel like you're not acknowledging my feelings.
Nope.
You know, I feel like if someone has lost their partner and they're saying things that are not realistic in the first week, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, let it be. If you're looking at a young 25-year-old girl that's lost her husband and she's telling you, I'm never going to get married again. I never want, just let her. Why? You don't need to step in with your, practical side of your brain and correct that. Yeah. Someone's grieving. They don't know probably what they're talking about.
That's right.
They're speaking out of emotion. Let them have it.
Do you know what I used to say? I used to say, if I took my clothes off and ran down the street naked, nobody could say shit to me. During those first couple of days. Yeah,
it's actually later. That's quite true. I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
No, like I mean, you're not thinking straight.
You're not yourself.
You're not yourself.
Yeah.
It's like when people say things to you, like when they're comparing maybe your loss to somebody else's. It's like, why are you diminishing my grief?
Yeah, like, can I have it? Like, let me have it.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
And it's like I can say in those first couple of months, year, I can say and do, and I'm not saying that this is a get out of jail free card. I don't mean that at all, right? But you're already going through the loss. Your next thoughts are, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to move forward with my life? Am I going to be okay? Are my children going to be okay? So you're not thinking about, moving on, for example. You're not thinking about any of that. The only thing you're thinking about, you're in like this, what is it? Fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about anything other than how am I going to move forward? How am I going to continue life without him? Right?
Yeah.
And so when people start comparing your grief to other people's grief, and especially if it's not a spouse, I don't know, I find that very bizarre.
I think it's unnecessary.
It's extremely unnecessary.
The people that aren't going through the grieving process to comment really at all on that sort of stuff. It's really not your place.
No.
And it's a lot better just to keep your comments to yourself, really, because it doesn't help anybody. We know the person grieving is not being practical. Obviously.
You're not.
Right?
And that's what I meant by that comment about I could take my clothes off and run down the street naked. Nobody, I would have been well within my right to.
Yeah. And you know what?
My life just literally got turned upside down.
Literally
turned upside down. I'm not in my right state of mind.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about anything other than, am I going to be okay? Are my children going to be okay?
And you know what I'll say? Whether it's 1 week, 1 day, 1 year, there's a quote that I saw on Instagram that's super relatable, right? And it said something along the lines of grief lasts a lot longer than society allows it to or wants it to. And I think that's really true even in the early stages. There are people that are like, okay, just calm down. It's okay. He's, you know, like it's not up to you.
No,
it's not up to you. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's frustrating. It's people say really, I'll tell you one that I hate.
Tell me.
I'm sorry. I hate this one. He's in a better place. Hold on. I understand it. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. I believe in God. So I understand the religious perspective of grief. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. I think most religions have the kind of same idea about what happens to someone when they die. I understand it. I respect it. I agree with it. Doesn't mean I want to hear it.
Okay.
I don't like it. And honestly, till today, I don't like it. I don't like when people say that to me. Okay. So he's in a better place. Okay, great. Does not change how I feel at all.
No, it's,
I'm sorry, it doesn't.
So then that's where I think people don't understand. I think people think that by saying that to you or to anyone grieving, I think people think that by them telling you he's in a better place, that you're going to feel like you're going to be relieved or something.
But think about it's one sentence. You think one sentence from you is going to make someone feel immediately relieved about just losing their husband?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And I respect he's in a better place. I am a part of me, is maybe finds some comfort in that, in what, everyone has their own beliefs, right?
Place, yeah.
So if you believe that your someone that dies goes to heaven, then that might bring you a little bit of comfort.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, really, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not religious enough, right? But for me personally, it brings some comfort, but it's not, this is not something putting me at ease and, and all of a sudden I'm, thank God you said that.
No, I get what you mean, yeah.
No, like I just think like, I don't know. I don't think you need to say that. I think everyone, has their own views on what happens to someone. He's in a better place. Okay, cool. But I'm a human and humans are selfish and a better place is with me at home with our kid, and that's normal.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you don't have faith. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything. It's just normal humans. This is how we operate. We are selfish beings, right? So that's just something that I just don't like, even till now when people say that. It's just a bit of a like textbook line. Oh, he's in a better place.
It's not meaningful.
Doesn't help anything. The situation doesn't
mean anything to you.
It doesn't, to be honest with you. Like, I know what I believe. I understand. Like, that's fine. But I just don't think saying something like that is as helpful as people might think it is. And I've probably been guilty of it many times. I reckon I've probably sent condolences saying, oh, they're in a better place when I didn't know. I mean, I don't know either, but I'm just saying it to cover myself, because maybe someone reads a condolence message that I sent and they're like, you said that to me. That's why I said it. I don't know if I have.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's one that I don't like.
Can I tell you one?
Yeah, give me one.
It will get easier.
Sorry.
Yeah. Every time someone told me that it would get easier, and let me tell you, a lot of people told me.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, it'll get easier.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Especially like as time went on, and let's say it was around, the 8-9 month mark.
Yeah.
It will get easier.
Yeah.
That's mainly when it came, actually.
Okay.
When you were like, still grieving, like a year in, and people are going, it'll get easier.
Yeah.
But it's not getting easier.
Yeah.
It's only getting harder.
Yeah. And more real.
And more real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, every time someone said that to me, I just wanted to punch them in the throat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
I get
to
that.
the ones that have said that to me. I know that
we know it
it's
wasn't
not
coming from a bad place, but it's frustrating.
It just didn't make me feel,
of course not.
any
At the end
better
of the day,
because I know what I was feeling. I know that it wasn't getting any easier. It was only getting harder.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Okay. What people think about it getting easier, no, maybe with a grandparent or, you know, not with your spouse.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
It only gets more difficult. Your kids only they're getting older.
And they miss more moments.
Correct.
And there's more milestones. And
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't get easier. It only gets harder.
It definitely gets harder.
So maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
And you know,
for me anyway, that was me. I don't know. I
agree because what happens, I think, is in the initial stages of grief, you're actually not thinking. You think you are and you think you're processing. You're not, right? But
isn't it weird? Do you look back at that time? I feel like I was such a different person.
Of course you are. It's a major it's such a life-changing event. It's huge, right? And the thing is that as time goes on, you use your right mind more.
That's right.
So you're more aware, you're slowly comprehending.
That's right.
And I think that's why it gets harder because reality starts to kick in. This is my new life. And, you know, it is hard. It is hard.
This is a big one. Like a big one.
Oh, okay.
Pressuring people to make life-changing, you know.
What?
Like
decisions?
Yes. Okay.
Example?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you're pressuring somebody to make these life-changing decisions, okay, like I said earlier, you're already, and I'm not talking later on. I think discussions need to, you know, be had later on. I'm talking about really, really early on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're pressuring somebody to make these life-changing decisions, that being sell your house.
Oh, okay.
Sell the car.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the clothes? You need to get rid of the clothes.
This is such a can of worms, this topic. Yeah.
You know, things like that, I think that is really unnecessary, like really early on. You're already going through so much. You're already, you know, like I said before, the loss, that am I going to be okay? Are my kids going to be okay? To now throwing that into, you know, this pool of emotions is just so unnecessary. And I think that it is also, you know, it's just
rude,
extremely rude,
insensitive,
but it's also adding this stress, this unnecessary stress. For what? Like,
but it's also
it's going to happen eventually.
Really private. It's really personal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but you know, unless I don't know, unless you have directly something to do with a particular decision or an asset or something. I'm not meaning you, I'm meaning someone else.
Even then, I don't think it should be spoken about that soon.
I agree, but I think people are people, and when people pass away, a lot of people want their stuff,
and that's fine.
Money,
it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, but people
let me grieve. Like I'm not thinking about
the
car. I'm not thinking about the house. Yeah. I'm not thinking about the clothes. I'm not thinking about all of that. Right? Yeah. I'm still, you know, I'm still
rude.
coming to terms that I've just lost my husband.
Yeah.
So why are you adding this unnecessary stress, this unnecessary pressure when, like, my life has just been turned upside down? So, like, it's just unnecessary. That early on is unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, let me go through what I'm going through. There is going to come a time where we are going to have the conversation. We are going to have to sit down and go, okay, what am I going to do with the car? Okay, what am I going to do with his clothes? Okay, what am I? And at the end of the day, that's up to me.
Yeah.
Don't pressure me to do any of that.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Absolutely. And I just think that, you know, I just put it down these days to people are people, and they're just, I don't know, people are just strange. Like I don't, you know, I put myself in their position. I would be so uncomfortable to even suggest to have a conversation of that nature early on. And in fact, even later on, I would be uncomfortable.
I think that depending on who it comes from, I think if it's coming from somebody who's like super close to you, I think they're probably wanting to take a bit of that stress off you.
I don't agree.
But it's actually not taking the stress off me. You're actually applying a lot more stress because I'm not ready to make these decisions. So stop, like, don't pressure me to make
I think
decisions.
It depends on the type of person that you are. For me, I'm really independent. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like even being advised. Unless I ask you for advice, don't give me yours. I don't want it, and I'll ask you if I need it. So I think I got that a lot in the beginning where people, and I don't care honestly how close you are to me, unless I ask you, it's not your place and it's not your business. I wouldn't give unsolicited advice like that. I don't care how close I am to someone. It's a very sensitive topic. We're talking about their partner's belongings or their you know, like it's a very sensitive topic, and I just wouldn't go there. And I'd advise other people not to go there. You know, just again, exercise a bit of self-control. Keep it to yourself. Like I don't like it's rude. And I think that going back to what was said, that, you know, we prefer not to be said, etc. Conversations like that happened a lot, even from strangers. Like, I don't know if you went through that, but I went through it a lot. Like, maybe not directly to me, but hearing stuff like, oh, this person asked what you were doing with this watch. Sorry? You were what? How rude. How rude. And I'm talking like this would have been, I reckon, within the 2-month mark.
2 months?
Yeah. That to me is,
that's wild.
Very insensitive, very selfish.
Extremely insensitive.
Very selfish. Very nosy also. Like, what does that have to do with you? So, I think definitely steer clear of conversations like that if you can.
What about, you know, are you going to continue to go to the cemetery every week?
You know, just for the people that have asked me that or plan to ask someone that, why do you care? It's weird. What's it to you? Are you driving me to the cemetery?
I think it's because people think, so I want to clarify this. People think that if you go to the cemetery, you are going to continue to be in that dark place, that you're not going to move forward, that you continuing to go there is going to be a constant reminder that they're not with you, what you went through, the struggles you've gone through, when in fact, for me, it was the most, I don't know, I just found it to be so beautiful. I found it so comforting. If ever I was, you know, really down, really upset, I would drive straight there and I would just sit there and I would leave. I would feel like, I'd not brand new, but like I wouldn't be as sad as I was before I got there. I don't know. For me, it was comforting.
Yeah, well, everyone's different. Everyone feels something different when they go there. Yeah.
Just to clarify, me going to the cemetery as often as I did, as often as I do, does not mean that I'm going to, I'm in this dark hole, or I find it comforting.
But
till now, I find it comforting.
Right. Like when you say doesn't mean I'm in a dark hole. So unless a person is severely, like it is impacting their children, their day-to-day life, they haven't left their house in 2 years, they haven't whatever, that's a different story. That is a person I understand that needs help, okay, with their grief. But if you're someone like me and you who have gotten on with our day, we look after our children, we get up, we go to work, we pay our bills, we're sorted, we can hold conversations, we're healthy, we're okay.
Yeah.
And I want to go to the cemetery 3 times a day. Let me be. Let me be.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. You don't know what I have, for me, when it's a weird thing, right? So again, this is very personal and it's very private, and that's why it's best for people to just not get involved, right? So as I said, unless someone seriously needs help, that's a different story. But if you're like me, where I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm not collapsing, I'm not, neglecting my child. I'm, so when he was buried, I just remember saying to him, don't worry, like I'm going to come every single day for the first year. It was a weird thing. I don't know why I said that. I don't know. 1 year for me just felt like a bit of a milestone. Yeah. And I just remember like, don't worry, I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm coming every single day. So for me, that was like a little promise that I made between us to myself. Yeah. And I just stuck to that. Yeah. And, there were days that I went there and I wasn't crying, or I wasn't super down and out, or but I wanted to see that out. That was just like a little personal thing for me, and I would get it all the time from other people visiting their loved ones. Like, you're here all the time. You should or a family members that knew that I went every day. Like, oh, you should probably not go every day. Like, okay, leave me alone. Like, that's not your business. No. It's really not.
Everybody's grief journey is, it's significant to them, right? Like it's how they want to do it. It's not I can't sit here and tell you how to grieve.
That's right. Yeah.
You have your own way of grieving. I have my own way of grieving. Yeah. Okay. And so if I choose to go to the cemetery every single day,
it's your choice.
Or 3 times a day, or 5 times a week, or however many times I want to go, that's my grief journey. I'm not going to tell anybody how to grieve. Nobody should be telling me how to grieve.
And on the other end of that, if you want to go once every 3 months, that is also up to you. That's your choice. Maybe you're not comfortable going there. No. Maybe you don't find peace there. Maybe it's traumatic for you.
And some people do find it hard to go. Some people do find it traumatic.
And I hate all the judgment associated with it. If you go too often, you're crazy. If you don't go enough, you're don't care.
Yeah, that's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like, just honestly, keep your opinions to yourself. Unless you've been through it, you don't know. And even if you have been through it, I still encourage you not to judge somebody else. Like, I see some people that have been through, not because I don't know any other widows except for you, but people that have lost people in their lives. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes they visit their loved ones just on Christmas, just on Eid, just on New Year's. Yeah. You do you. I would never, ever say, oh my God, like, obviously they don't care about that person because they only go once a year. No, you don't know what someone, it's not for you to judge. No, so definitely. keep it to yourself. Yeah. Like, you have to practice keeping it in, like, because it's one of those things. And you know what? I always say this, and I don't mean it in a nasty way, but I've said it a billion times, and I will always say this. One day, everyone will lose a partner, right? Because if you're in a marriage, someone's dying first, okay? When your partner dies, you come and tell me. Then we can talk about the stuff that you've said to me. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, you know how it is in our section of the cemetery. People are very outspoken and very comfortable to share their thoughts. I remember an older lady. I've never wailed. I've never cried hysterically. I've never made noise. Sometimes, tears are streaming down my face. But I'm, to myself, I'm quite whatever. I remember she just comes past me and she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't cry like that." Wow. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I didn't say anything. I just, couldn't be bothered. And I remember she'd said, what did she say? She said something to me. She said something religious, right? But she was rude. She was rude, right? And I said to her, "Oh, are you something?" I asked her, I was vulnerable back then, it was early stages. I think I asked her, "Oh, is your husband alive, or have you lost your husband?" Something like that. And she said to me, no, I'm here visiting. I don't know who she said. And very unlike me. But I turned around and I was like, okay, well, when your husband dies, you let me know how you feel.
What did she say to you?
I actually don't think she knew what I said because she didn't really speak English very well. It was like a broken conversation because a lot of people assume that I'm of a certain type of nationality, which I'm not. So she was sort of talking to me in broken English, but I got the gist of what she was saying. And I don't know, that just flew out of my mouth. Usually I wouldn't say that really to people directly because I'm kind of like,
isn't it wild what people say to you at the cemetery?
Yeah. Oh.
It's like, I'm there minding my business.
Yeah. Oh, but it somehow affects them.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Whether you see me here every day, whether you see me here once a month, just I'm here doing my thing. Yeah. I come here because for me it's comforting. Yeah. For me it's peaceful. Yeah. Just let me be. Yeah. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing so I can go home.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. So there's a lot of
There's another one.
Yes. Wait, of what you wish someone didn't say to you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or not so much didn't say to say to me. Yeah.
What did they say?
Like the photo on your front of your phone. Like your lock screen photo.
Oh, yeah.
Who's it of?
What do you mean?
Like on your phone.
Mine, Mohammed.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine. Mick.
Yeah.
Oh. When are you going to change it?
No.
Babe.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. See, no. No, this is too far. This is what I mean by, guys, you need to practice.
It's wild. It is wild. The things that people say. And again, if you've said any of this stuff to me, I know that it probably didn't come from like a malice place.
Yeah.
But it hurts my feelings. Guys, it really hurts my feelings.
But that's a bit strange.
But you don't know what I'm going through. So why the fuck are you telling me to take my husband's photo off my phone? I want to keep it there. What the fuck's it to you?
Yeah, that's weird.
Right.
That's weird. Yeah, no, I don't that's it, but that's I don't know. I have no words. People. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that.
I wish people would just say
nothing.
Right?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you need, please let me know.
That's actually perfect. I cannot imagine what you're going through. I don't have the words to say to you.
Can I say one thing?
What?
Let's be honest.
You're still angry. You can't please her, guys. Just give up.
Hang on. Come on. You're going to so agree with me on this.
What?
If I need anything, am I going to ask anyone?
No, but also, wait.
Why can't you just
anyone that's ever said that they're there for you isn't there for you anyway. They just tick a box if you need anything.
If you need anything, what do you mean? I need everything.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
This is another episode.
Okay.
Together.
All right.
We can't.
Okay.
We're going to be here for 2 hours. Okay. But no.
But just like
100%.
If I need anything, like, you know, I had someone, and you know who you are.
Oh, you're in trouble.
She's not. She wasn't like, do you need anything? Babe,
she would just do it.
We were in lockdown.
Yeah.
She just went and ordered me groceries.
Oh, angels, right? Yeah.
Like things that you're not even thinking about.
I know.
Right? I'm not thinking about, what do I need to get from Coles today?
Of course.
I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like, if I need anything, fuck, my whole world's crumbled.
I need literally everything. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything you can think of, I need it. You know what? I so agree with that. And just on that note, like, guys, most people don't want to ask. We're embarrassed at that time to ask people for things. So, you know, maybe, I mean, the ship has sailed for me and you, but maybe if there's other people that you know that are grieving and they're in their early stages, and, you know, not even early stages. I mean, I still need help right now, but, you know, it's another story. Stop saying like, do you need this? Or do you need me? No, just do it. Just do it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you're close enough to the person to know about, you know, their situation and they've got children and, you know, I don't know, just buy a box of nappies, leave it at the door. Do you know what I mean?
The guy that would cut my grass for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even ask him.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
He would just come, cut the grass.
I love
and I wouldn't even know that he's there.
I think that is.
He wouldn't even text me. He'd just know it needed to be done. I'm not going to ask him. I'm grieving, right? He'd just come, cut my grass and leave.
You know, that's like my beautiful neighbours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, babe. I mean, it's getting a bit ridiculous now.
Okay.
My neighbours take my bins out every week.
That is so sweet.
Every week, okay? He cuts my grass.
Yeah.
He, like, and doesn't say anything, doesn't mention it.
He'll just do it.
We'll just do it. Babe, the bins every week. It's, you know, it's been a while.
You know who would do that for me? My 70-year-old neighbour.
Really?
I swear to you.
What, like when he found out that Mick had passed away?
She was a female.
Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Good on her.
So, yeah, like she knew Mick passed. She was like right next door to us. Yeah. She knew Mick passed. Yeah. And then, like, I'm the type that would, okay, it's bin night. Grab all the rubbish at 10 o'clock or whatever I need to throw out. Yeah. Toss it in the bin at 10 p.m. Yeah. Wheel it out.
Yeah.
I would come to do that and my bin would already be out the front.
See.
And then the next morning, it would already be where, you know, in its place.
I know.
So I'm not saying come and take my bins out, right? I'm not saying buy me groceries. I'm just saying if there's something that you want to do, don't ask me.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say yes.
Also, like, how much do you really want to do it if you're, like, not just doing it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you
And not just that, could you imagine how many people said that to you? If there's anything you need, let me know. If there's
everyone, and then they never spoke to me again after the funeral. Not even a hello.
Right. Seriously.
It's honestly the truth though. Like, really. If you need anything, whatever you need. Yeah. Even said to my husband.
And I'm not talking about the ones that actually did things for you and then said, but, you know, anything else you need, let me know.
No. We mean the ones that are just, it's ticking a box. I mean, people even said to my husband when he was still alive, don't worry, your wife, anything happens, your wife and your son.
Where are they? That's another story. That's
a whole other episode. And it's coming, guys. So just stay tuned. But no, seriously, if you know someone that's grieving, and you know what, guys, don't forget, it's not the first month. It's not the first 6 months. It's not the first year. Do you know what I mean? It's years later that people are still suffering. Like, I'm still suffering. I still need help. You know,
100%.
like, it just means so much to me, like the little things that people do. Like I don't know, for me, my neighbours are just like, wow. You know, they they've just been there for us since we moved into this house. They are such incredible people. Like I can't even, and they do it with no expectation in return because they actually, I feel like my neighbors, they know mentally I just don't even have the capacity to give. Like I'm pouring from an empty cup all the time. I want like, I actually like, I don't even know how to thank them. I just have nothing in me. Like I'm just exhausted 24/7. I'm just, but I feel like they know that. Like they just get it. They get me. They see me all the time, every day. They just get me and they do so much for me. They want nothing in return. They never make me feel like I owe them anything. And they've been doing it from day one, even when my husband was alive and we needed help or he needed help or, you know, they're just, wow. Like
that's amazing.
We are so lucky.
It's very rare that you come across people like that. Like for me, Mick passed during lockdown.
Oh, that's
And my cousins and like my mum and my aunties did not give a shit about like lockdown and that they had to stay at home. They didn't care. And some didn't even live close to me. My cousins would leave their families. And they would get in their car, drive over to me, and they would sleep over. They would be cooking. They would be cleaning. They would be like, you know, doing the washing, looking after my kids when I was like, couldn't look after my own self, let alone look after them. But like really pulling up and, you know, it's things like that. Like I didn't ask for that. And I am so grateful and I am so blessed that I have, you know, them in my life and that they actually did that for me because I don't know what I would have done.
Of course.
You know? And so, like, it's things like that. Like you don't ask for it. Like,
and you know
you're not
what?
going to ask people to do that for you.
Of course not. Of course you're not. And like, we never will.
And at the same time, I don't want to feel like a burden.
That's right.
I don't want to feel like a burden. I don't want to feel like, you know, someone doesn't want to do something for me yet. I had one of my cousins, babe. She has 4 children. She left her 4 children at home and she came to stay with me. Like,
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's, you just don't ever want to feel like you don't want to feel like you're forcing somebody to do something for you when they can't or 100%. Whatever.
If you're asking them, you're feeling like a burden. If they've done it, it's too late to even think about whether you're bothering them. Am I a burden? Whatever. They've already done it. They've done it. They wanted to do it. They did it. So I think as well, when we talk about what to say, what not to say to a widow, actions. Just do. You don't need to say anything. No, do you know what I mean? If you're feeling, you know, like if you feel like you can help in a certain way or you can whatever, I'm telling you that means more. You know, dropping off something for the kids or, you know, whatever means so much more than a message, a text, you know, whatever. So I think that when we're talking about what to say to someone that's grieving, it's probably more actions rather than words. And if it's going to be words, just, I'm here for you.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Can't imagine how you're feeling, you know, and that's it. Keep it simple. You know, just don't overdo it. Don't overstep. You know, be mindful about what you're saying and don't take away from their pain and their grief. And I feel like a lot of people try and downplay it and I'm not really sure why they do that. Like,
I think people try and downplay it because they don't know.
How to
handle the situation or they don't know what to say. And I think that's why people downplay it. I also think people downplay it if they feel guilty that they haven't stepped up. That, I'm telling you, that's why that's why maybe not everybody, but that's why some people will downplay it because they feel guilty that they have not stepped up.
I agree. And can I say something wild? I feel like people downplay it that are in people downplay your grief that are close to the person that's passed because they want the attention. They want the grieving attention. They don't want how come everyone's focused on his wife? What about me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to say that because it's so fucking true.
Yeah.
They want to be the one that everyone's coming up to, and everyone's like,
are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you this? Are you that? So I think people do that a lot as well. Yeah. People are weird. How weird to be jealous of like someone's grief. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 People love to be center of attention even in death.
And I feel like everybody's grief is different.
Of course it is, yeah.
For somebody who lost their husband, to somebody who lost their grandmother, to somebody who lost their parent, their child, like it's different grief.
Of course.
It's a different grief.
Of course, yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that?
No. Of course it is. It absolutely is. I've lost my husband, but I can't imagine losing a child. I've still lost someone close, but I would never tell a mother who has lost a child, I know what you're going through. No, I don't. No, I do not. Like a child. And the same way, like someone that's lost a parent, I also wouldn't say, oh, I know what you're going through. No, your parent, I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, of course, depending on who you lose, your grief journey is going to be different. It's really not, it's not a comparable thing. We're not comparing things. You know, me and you don't compare, and we've both lost our husbands, but still we're different. How we feel is different.
Very different.
How we think about things is very different, even though we both have kids, we've both lost our husbands, both in similar ways. Like it's still very different.
And I think we touched base on this in one of our previous episodes, but you know, my grief journey ahead of you in that.
Yeah.
But your grief journey is your grief journey, right? I can never tell you how to grieve.
No.
You can't tell me how to grieve.
That's right.
I might be angry tomorrow.
Yes.
And, you know, the next day I might be, you know, normal, like whatever.
Yeah.
But that's okay, even at 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So at almost 2 years, you can be, you know, you can have the opposite. It's there's no textbook.
Yeah.
There is no textbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I will always say that.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
It's wild.
And I think as well, like another thing, I mean, we could go on for hours about what not to say to someone grieving, but just something that I thought of now. If you see them laughing, smiling, eating, God forbid they eat, oh, you look like you're okay now. Oh, are you over it? Sorry? That's so rude. That is so rude and so unnecessary. Again, learn to keep shit to yourself. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Don't say that. That's so rude. Just because someone is living/surviving.
Again, that's downplaying.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Because they are guilty.
See, I think that too. I think when you do that, when someone say a year on, right, and you as a friend or a family member say, oh, you look like you're doing really well, or, you know, oh, it's good to,
They're guilty.
That stuff, I feel like you're projecting guilty.
You're guilty because you've not stepped up.
Yeah, that's what I think. And maybe you haven't been around. Maybe you haven't kept in touch. So you want to act like, oh, look, she's fine now. See, I didn't even need to be there.
Exactly
she's doing well.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's guilt.
Well, you know, like at the end of the day, if you're feeling guilty or you're feeling, you know, it's because you are. Do you know what I mean? So
if the shoe fits.
Yeah, wear it.
Exactly. No, strap that bitch and wear it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just another thing that I sometimes I get. It's awkward for me because I also don't know how to answer it either, because I'm also like, I'm not an attention seeker. So I won't turn around and be like, no, I'm not doing better. No, I'm really, but I don't speak like that. But at the same time, it's uncomfortable for me to agree with what you're implying, which is that I've moved on and that I'm okay now and that's in the past. I don't agree with that.
And that's another thing I don't like. I don't really like the term moved on.
Neither.
I like to use the term moving forward.
Yeah.
Because
you can't
moving
move
on,
but you won't move
means
on.
that you've forgotten one.
Yeah, you've moved on. You've left it behind you.
Yeah, you've forgotten about, you know, that life that you had. You've just pushed it to the side.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm not moving on. I'm moving forward with my life.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to move forward with my life. Right?
Yeah.
I'm moving forward.
Course. Yeah.
I'm not moving on. Two different things.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Anything else that okay. I have one.
What?
Women have compared my husband's death to their divorce. Sorry. This is what I've had, right? So we'll talk about his death, okay, briefly, and being a single mum. Oh, men are useless anyway. I've got one at home. He's like another child. You don't need them.
Sorry?
We might not need them. Doesn't mean we want them
dead.
What? That's a wild remark.
So that for me is them trying to make you feel better in some fucked up way.
It is. I think it is. And I feel like, guys, if you've said this to me, it's all good. Like, I don't take anything to heart. I really don't. But strange. What the fuck? What do you mean? Like your divorce? That's how I felt when I got a divorce. I was at home every day. It was just me. Oh, okay. But also, like, if you need
so for me,
help,
divorce
you can call your ex-husband.
Someone has chosen that.
That's
okay,
exactly
someone has
right,
chosen to get divorced.
Yeah.
Whether it's one person, whether it's both of them.
Yeah.
Someone came up with, we need to get a divorce. Okay?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did not choose this life.
Yeah.
I did not choose
out of our control
to become a widow.
That's right.
I did not choose for my children to now grow up without their father.
Yeah.
I did not choose this life.
Sorry.
What?
Oh, my ex-husband doesn't even see the kids, so it's basically like he's dead.
Stop it.
What?
No.
Yeah. But it's not their fault. They mean well. They're trying to make me feel better. They mean well, babe.
know.
They do. It's not coming from a nasty place.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No. They do mean well. Ish. I don't know.
Okay. This is the thing. I know that people will say things because they've not been through it.
Yeah.
And so people try and say things to make you feel better. Okay.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's not coming from a malicious place.
No.
But comparing divorce to death, it's just two very different things. I did not choose this life.
It's a bit far-fetched.
Yeah,
I know it feels similar in your mind.
It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I can't imagine myself comparing like my divorce to someone's dead partner. It's just.
Yeah, it's wild.
Or you know what? Like the whole, like, you know, really strange things, right? Like, well, my husband doesn't help with the kids anyway.
Well, guess what? My husband did.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Even if he didn't, doesn't mean I want him dead. What? Come on. Use your brain slightly. Doesn't take a lot.
No, it doesn't.
I know common sense is not very common, but come on. Like, it's a little bit rude.
So I'm just trying to understand something. Someone's saying that to you.
Yeah.
What do you respond with?
Oh, I'm too much of a pushover. I'm just like, yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
Well, what do you want me to say? Start a fight? No, it's not.
No, but like.
I'm not like that. Sorry. No, it's not. I don't talk like that. Babe, you know me. Jeez.
Yeah, look, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably stand there
I'm
and
awkward, babe.
I'd probably be thinking in my head, you're fucked.
Oh, I am. But I'm not, am I? But you know what it is as well, babe? Honestly, I have to be honest. It takes a lot to hurt/offend me, and I don't get offended or hurt by these people because I know they just don't know, babe. They just don't know. Anyone that knows wouldn't say that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not worth getting worked up, and it's just like, let them go.
No, whatever. I'm not saying punch on with them.
I don't know. I think you are.
I'm not. I was curious to know what you would respond to that. Because in my mind, I'm very much like you, like especially early on, like I don't know. Yeah. You're not in your right mind. So there's no way I'd be like, oh, like let's, throw it down and
throw it down.
I'm not doing that. In my mind, I'm thinking you're fucked.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're fucked
too.
The
words that would come out of my mouth would just be
that's literally me. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, haha, men. What? I don't know. And the thing is that like my husband was really hands-on with my baby. So it's really hard to like be in the same boat as you. Like I understand your husband doesn't change your kid's nappy. Mine did.
That's right.
I don't know. Like I can't relate, and neither can you. So you should just shut the fuck up. I mean, we'd be here all day talking about things that
maybe
people
we can do a part 2.
Have said, let us know if you want a part 2 because I'm sure we've got some really funny, really good ones. Like I could probably come up with like proper conversations that I've had with people that are like, what did you say? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Next, another episode. Definitely. We'll do it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for joining us as always. And we'll be back next week with another episode. And you can find us everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Married, Now Widowed. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys. That's good.